Let's bring in criminal defense and trial attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, thanks so much for being here. First of all, in terms of legal culpability in a situation like this, how on earth do you get to that point of knowing who is legally culpable?
Yeah, Jonathan, great to be with you. The million-dollar question in the Maui wildfire is, what was the cause? And as we sit here today, I haven't seen any scientific reports that are citing an exact cause of the wildfire. Why is that important? Because it's kind of disappointing that we're seeing all these lawsuits already spawned. Maui County suing Hawaiian Electric. We've got some families that are already suing Hawaiian Electric, but we still don't really have the source of the cause of the wildfire.
So say investigators ultimately get to the point, Brian, where they can say, they have not got to this point by any means, but they can say, Hawaii Electric, you're responsible, you didn't keep up your lines or whatever, as has happened here in California before. The power companies have been held responsible. Is it then very simple that all of these people who've lost so much can then sue Hawaii Electric?
That's a great question. The answer is no, because Hawaiian Electric's going to hire expert witnesses will be brought into the case. And Hawaiian Electric's going to argue, hey, we're in a catch-22. We know there's a risk of a wildfire. We call them red flag warnings. We have them out here in California. But what are we supposed to do? Shut off the electricity, then people don't have electricity? That's what they're arguing. They kept the electricity on. And from what I've heard, what caused the fire to start was a tree falling on a wire that hits the ground and creates a wildfire. My whole point is, sometimes accidents happen. It's not really the cause of somebody else, but rest assured, you're gonna have a dueling expert witnesses in this case, all pointing the finger at each other.
Yeah, you can't legislate for Mother Nature, I guess, in these situations. Yeah,
exactly.
I want to move on to the matter of the Proud Boys and the sentencing of a couple of Proud Boys members today over the January 6th riot. Listen first of all to Norman Pattis, who is one of the attorneys for one of the Proud Boys now convicted criminals.
I think these cases are grotesquely overcharged. You know, when the government came out asking for 33 years and 30 years, they got half of what they asked for. They charged twice of what the case was worth.
Brian, what do you think? Did the sentences in these cases fit the crimes?
I think given the nature of the crimes, the sentences did fit the type of crime committed. I mean, this is the absolute worst crime, or one of the worst crimes you could ever commit. You know, rushing and rioting the Capitol building. One of the guys convicted today smashing the window of the Capitol building, like you said, after he'd stolen a piece of riot gear from a police officer. I mean, these judges have to send messages that if you do something this heinous, and they put the lives of congressional leaders at risk as well. And there has to be a penalty that's going to send a message that if you ever try to do this again, you're going to spend a lot of time behind bars.
So regardless of what anybody thinks of the politics in this situation, having been convicted of those crimes, whether you believe they should have ever been charged in the first place, and some people believe they should have, some people believe they possibly shouldn't have. But regardless of that, once convicted, these sentences were in the ballpark that they should have been in, you believe?
Yeah, one of the guys, I think his name is it Pedroza? He's
Dominic Pezzola.
Yeah, Pezzola. He actually only got a 10-year sentence. Why do I say only? Because there were five of these defendants who were charged with what's called seditious conspiracy, which means they're trying to overthrow the government. 4 were convicted of that crime, which carries a penalty of at least 17 to 20 years. He was very fortunate. I think a jury found him not guilty on that. He gets 10 years. That's 7 years less than the 4 other Proud Boy people got. So I think this was a really fair sentence for him.
Interesting. Great to have your perspective, as always, on all things legal, Brian. Thank you for being here.
You bet. Thanks.
Have a great Labor Day weekend.
You too.